Candy Storytime. The Adventures of Tom Sawyer by Mark Twain, retold by Jacqueline Kehl, read by Srinika. Tom Sawyer lived with his aunt because his mother and father were dead. Tom didn't like going to school and he didn't like working. He liked playing and having adventures. One Friday he didn't go to school. He went to the river instead. Aunt Polly was angry. "You're a bad boy," she said. "Tomorrow you can't play with your friends because you didn't go to school today. Tomorrow you're gonna work for me. You can paint the fence." Saturday morning, Tom was not happy, but he started to paint the fence. His friend Jim in the street, Tom asked him, "Do you want to paint?" Jim said, "No, I can't. I'm going to get water." Then Ben came to Tom's house and watched Tom and said, "I'm going to swim today. You can't swim because you're working." Tom said, "This isn't work. I like painting." "Can I paint too?" Ben asked. "No, you can't. Aunt Polly asked me because I'm a very good painter." Ben said, "I'm a good painter too. Please, can I paint? I have some fruit. Do you want it?" "Okay," Tom said. "Give me the fruit, then you can paint." Ben started to paint the fence. Later, many boys came to Tom's house. They watched Ben and they wanted to paint too. Tom said, "Give me some food and you can paint." Tom stayed in the yard and all the boys painted. They painted the fence 3 times. It was beautiful and white. Tom went in the house. "Aunt Polly, can I play now?" Aunt Polly was surprised. "Did you paint the fence?" she asked. "Yes, I did," Tom answered. Aunt Polly went to the yard and looked at the fence. She was very surprised and very happy. "This is beautiful," she said. "Yes, now you can play." Tom walked to his friend Joe Harper's house and played with his friends there. They walked home again. There was a new girl in one yard. She had yellow hair and blue eyes. She was beautiful. Tom wanted to talk to her, but she didn't seem to see him. She went to her house. Tom waited, but she didn't come again. Chapter 2. The Graveyard. One morning before school, Tom's friend Huck Finn waited for him in the street. Huck didn't have a home, and he never went to school. People in the town didn't like him, but Tom liked Huck. Huck said, "Let's have an adventure." "What can we do on our adventure?" Tom asked. "Let's go to graveyard night at 12 o'clock. Huck answered. "That's a good adventure," Tom said. "Let's meet at 11 o'clock. Then Tom went to Sunday school, but he was late. The teacher asked why he was late. "I'm late because I talked to Huck Finn," Tom said. The teacher was very angry. "Sit with the girls," he said to Tom. Tom sat near the beautiful new girl. He was happy. He looked at her. "What's your name?" he asked. "Becky," she answered. Tom smiled and said, "My name's Tom." The teacher was angry again. "Tom Sawyer, stop talking. Go to your place now." Tom went to his place. At 12 o'clock, Tom and Becky didn't go home. They stayed at school yard and talked and talked. Tom said, "I love you. Don't you love me?" "Yes," Becky answered. "Good," said Tom. "Then you're gonna walk to school with me every day?" Amy always wanted to always walked with me." "Amy," Beck said angrily. Do you love her?" "No," Tom answered. "I love you now. Do you want to walk with me?" But Becky was still angry with Tom. She walked away and didn't answer. Tom was unhappy. He didn't go to school in the afternoon. That night Tom went to bed at 9 o'clock, but he didn't sleep. At 11 o'clock he went out of his bedroom in the window to the yard. Huck was there. They walked to the graveyard. They stopped behind some big trees and talked quietly. Suddenly there was a noise. There was a noise. The three men came to the graveyard. The doctor, Muff Potter, and Injun Joe. Injun Joe and the doctor talked angrily. Then Injun Joe killed the doctor with a knife. Tom and Huck watched. They went away quickly because they were afraid. They went to Tom's yard. Huck said, "We can't talk about